So according to studies done by Brown University, performance studies is an interdisciplinary field of research that draws from the social sciences, the humanities, and the arts. It focuses on the pervasiveness of performance as a central element of social and cultural life, including not only theater and dance, but also such forms as sacred rituals and practices of everyday life, storytelling and public speaking, avant-garde performance art, popular entertainments, micro-instructions of ethnicity, race, class, sex, and gender, world fairs and heritage festivals, nonverbal communication, play and sports, political demonstrations, and electronic civil disobedience. Any instance of expressive behavior or culture enactment, really.
Then violins will cry, and so will I, Mamselle. Violins will cry, and so will I, Mamselle.
Polius and Schaefer describe aesthetic communication as a type of performance referred to with artistic beauty. Artistic beauty can be really anything, because just me talking to you or someone telling a joke, impersonating, it really all it is text, words made up, and they have some sort of value to them. So reading a joke, reading the newspaper, magazines, and on the flip side of that, there's also things on stage like plays, musical performances, bands, choirs, um, anything like that. So that's aesthetic communication.
On the great broad spectrum of performance, there is aesthetic communication on one end. And I'm not really going to talk about that in a broad sense. I'm going to talk about a specific portion of that where aesthetic communication is oftentimes culturally specific. Now, what that means, obviously, it's kind of self-explanatory, is that it's specific to a culture. A great example of this would be Black Twitter. Black Twitter is a base of users that communicate in a unified and expressive manner that triggers an audience response. You can go on Facebook and you'll see someone say, I went to the grocery store and it sucked, and you're like, cool. Whereas if you get on Black Twitter, you're going to hear about how they got there, what happened in the grocery store. They're going to use communication resources that are specific to the Black culture. They're going to use communication tools and skills that Black people can be like, oh, I know exactly what they're talking about. So it's culturally specific. Sarah Florini states that Black users often perform their identities through displays of cultural competence and the use of signifiers that rely on social and cultural resources. So essentially what I just said is that Black people rely on their culture to communicate on Black Twitter. Now, this translates also into reality. The next clip you're going to see is a clip of me performing a dramatization or whatever in a Black church. And it's culturally specific because it's in a Black church and I'm performing it in front of Black people in a unified and expressive manner that is used to trigger an audience response.
And rolled the 1-ton stone away. The Roman soldiers were so frightened that they became as dead men. Jesus arose from the dead. The tomb was empty and Satan was defeated. We celebrate the gift of salvation through Jesus Christ, our Passover Lamb. Romans 6:23. Thank you.
Yeah, if they should be straight line. Normally they use
Just clocked out from work.
In conclusion, performance is a key element to everyday life. According to an article written at UC Davis, we understand performance as both an object of inquiry and as a lens through which to view the world. Learning the different kinds of performances makes us more effective communicators because it allows us to see communication with a more open mind. Performance is a part of our everyday lives, whether or not you realize it. We are all performers.